Hey everyone, how you doing? Welcome back. So this is gonna be one of my first, I believe, vlogs, or you want to call them the first ghetto one-handed cell phone recorded vlogs. I figured why not, since everyone is doing it, why don't I do it? But the main reason I'm doing this one in particular is because I want to talk about YouTube and YouTube history and how I feel about gaming YouTube community today. Like these are my thoughts and this is how I feel. And I'll try to be as honest as possible. I'm not gonna be here to judge anybody. Everybody has a right to do and make money and be happy. That's their right. But I want to talk about just a little bit about YouTube and how this whole thing started. Everybody knows YouTube was created and it was owned by Google. In 2005, it originally launched. And when it first started, it was just there for people to upload their experiences. People with camcorders and cameras and phone cameras were able to upload their experiences and share it with the rest of the world, which was a pretty cool concept and took off, in a big way. I don't think Google anticipated just how huge the YouTube's going to become, but it did. It became very, very huge canvas for a lot of things. And one of the things that it came famous as well was gaming. Gaming scene, gamers came into the YouTube a little bit later, around 2006 or 2007. Everybody started using the webcams facing their TV sets, and they started recording the footages and uploading it, showing people how to get to certain levels, how to do certain walkthroughs. And it was very informative. It was very helpful. People were like sharing their gaming experiences, and they were able to communicate with each other. And if they get stuck a certain level, so it started going like that. People were sharing videos back and forth. It was a problem in the beginning for YouTube. Hold on, I just clicked on something here, which I shouldn't. It was a big problem for YouTube in the beginning because of the copyrights and whatnot. Because gaming capturing wasn't allowed back then. Even though it wasn't allowed, people were still doing it. They were using webcams, and there was no monetization. Like you couldn't monetize any of your videos, so you couldn't profit from it. So people were just using it for helping themselves in case they get stuck on a certain level. Okay, this game, what do you do here? Here, let me show you the video. So that's how it first started. And but the problem is, later on, in 2008, YouTube started realizing that the gaming community is really getting big here, and a lot of gamers are jumping into this YouTube platform. Excuse me. So Google and YouTube, they figured, hey, why don't we take advantage? Why don't we make some kind of a deal with the third parties, partnerships, and video game companies, developers? Let's use YouTube as a canvas, as a grid for gamers, and let's make money off of it. Because a lot of people were jumping on it, a lot of people were doing it. So this is a good design. Let's use a lot of gamers to start generating more money for us. And it did, and they did. As a matter of fact, a lot of people started getting in partnership, like with Machinima and a bunch of other ones, Zoom in Games. There's a whole list of partnerships out there that were available. And it started taking off. A lot of people started making money off of it. It was a great success. People were streaming videos, doing walkthroughs. And it was fine. It was fine and dandy in the beginning, but the problem is that a lot of people used YouTube as an opportunity to make quick cash. Even some people who are adults, even people who really are not into gaming, they started doing it because they realized that, hey, this is a great opportunity for me to make some quick cash, and let's do it. But here's the problem. I have no issue with someone creating a gaming YouTube channel and making money off of it if they're successful. But here's the issue that I have today with gaming YouTube community in 2016 versus 2008 and 2009. The biggest issue right now is that almost all of these big-time YouTubers that have 500,000 to 1 million to 5 million to 10 million subscribers, they are using their gaming channel as a trend. Whatever is trending right now, they're going to be talking about that. Even though it has nothing to do with the games, sometimes they're going to be using a trend to talk about. Like they'll talk about that gorilla that got shot, or they'll talk about something entirely else that has nothing to do with the gaming. And the reason they're doing that is because they want to profit more money, because they know it's a clickbait video and a lot of people want to hear someone's opinion, especially somebody who has a lot of followers. And, you see some faces here, like the Boogie and whatnot. Everybody knows who these guys are. I'm just kind of scrolling through this because I'm talking about YouTube, so that way you guys have something to look on it. And like this one right here, Why No Man's Sky Sucks. I mean, how many videos are out there that says Why No Man's Sky Sucks? Why? Because it's a clickbait. It generates a lot of money, a lot of views, and a lot of gamers are doing that. Like the recent one, they were talking about Metal Gear Solid Survival. There's people that never even played Metal Gear, but they're talking about it because it's a trend. It's a huge trend, and everyone's talking about a trend. And that's the problem that I have with today's YouTube gaming community. You got a lot of teenagers, you got a lot of kids out there. Everybody's got access to this for the phone, to the internet. It's so easy to go in there, open an account, and get hooked onto the internet. All right, which is, to me, internet's a cesspool of all kinds of garbage that you can find. And it's bad for you sometimes. Actually, most of the time it's bad for you. Internet's a bad influence. Anyway, that's besides the point. We're talking about the YouTube. To me, personally, I find it so ironic and strange that YouTube and Google wouldn't filter some of the guidelines with people who represent their channel. I think people who are strictly about the gaming, their channel should only be strictly about the gaming, which means you cannot talk about politics, which means you cannot talk about something entirely different than the gaming. But YouTube seems to overlook that because, again, it generates the money. I was like, I know he's talking about a different subject here. I know he's talking about trends. But you know what? Why don't we just go ahead and let him talk about whatever, because it generates the money for us. And again, that's the sad part that happened with YouTube, is the fact that the whole thing has become one big cesspool of money whoring. And I think that's the best way I can put it, And it's kind of sad that we live in a gaming community these days that... Don't get me wrong, I'm sure there's people out there that care about the games. I mean, I'm an old school gamer. I grew up with Spectrum and Commodore 64, Amiga 500. I grew up with Atari, Sega Genesis, all of these games I grew up with. And, but what's sad is 75, maybe 85%, I would say, on YouTube are just doing it for the money. And it's an easy cash grab. It's an easy way to make money. Why not? I'll invest a little bit of money. But the problem is they're talking about trends. They're not talking about, they're not giving you honest input, how they feel about the game. They're just talking about the trend. Because no one's going to talk about something boring because it will not generate anybody's attention. And it's just sad that YouTube has become that way. That it's just sad that our gaming community has become so trendy that it's not even question about do I like this game or do I don't like that game. They're just simply going with whatever's trending. And you can see this pattern. You can go into YouTube and you can just go in and check these patterns. You'll see same thing with the wrestling. Be like whatever's trending, they'll talk about it. Like how many Brock Lesnar and, videos can you make? How many McGregor videos can you make, right? And I love YouTube, but I have to be honest.